Good day guys, welcome to UPSC CSE Decoded. In today's video, I will give you the timetable for the 5-month strategy for Prelims 2021. So I will give you subject-wise timetable. The first subject I will be covering is environment. Environment is an important subject because you will have to keep in mind that this Prelims exam is for both the forest services and the civil services. So considering the forest service exam in mind, you'll have to keep in mind that it is important to cover environment. So the first subject that I'll be covering is environment. So I'll give you a 15 days timetable that I will be following so that it will help you to form your own timetable. Remember, this is just my timetable and you need not follow it word by word. So let us get into the video. So the syllabus of environment is conservation, environmental pollution and degradation, environmental impact assessment. The resources I'll be following is Shankar IAS Academy's environment book, and then class 12 biology NCERT last few chapters. So what I have done here is I've jotted down the units in each of the books so that it will be easy for me to cover, and when I go through the previous year question paper, it will be easy for me to pick from which unit which question has been asked. So accordingly, I am following 2017 edition. If you have the newer edition, you can go ahead and follow it. The first part 1 here is environmental ecology. If you go through the Shankar book and class 12 NCERT, you will be finding that there are approximately 44 units that need to be covered for environment apart from current affairs and map based questions. So what I'll be doing is 15 days plan. So per day you'll have to minimum complete 3.5 units, or if you have more time, if you can dedicate more time and put in more work, you can also read more topics based on your situation or less topics. And 15 days is for my capacity. If you can complete it in 10 days, it's well and good, or you can also take up to 20 days to complete it. Plan according to your strength and weakness. So according to Shankar book, I'll be covering every 3.5 units for a single day. So accordingly for 4th February, I'll be doing the first 4 units in Shankar book, and the next day I'll be doing the next 4 units, which is environment, pollution, renewable energy, environmental issues, environmental impact. Writing down this way will help you to know what are the units that you need to study, and among the 44 units, all the 44 units may not be important for you to study for the exam. So just at the first step, when you write, you will know what this book is about, what you will be reading in this book, how much time you will require to complete the book, etc. You will get an outline of the book and outline framework, and that's the reason I have marked every chapter down. Part 2 will be biodiversity. In biodiversity 2, I've classified it as 3.5 units. In biodiversity, we'll be reading biodiversity, Indian biodiversity, scheduled animals of Wildlife Protection Act 1972, Animal Diversity in India, Plant Diversity in India, Marine Organism, Protected Area Network, Conservation Efforts. So what you will read in biodiversity is that, say for example, the Wildlife Protection Act. You can see many current affairs related to Wildlife Protection Act, and also many in previous year question paper. If you go through, you will find many questions arising from it. Animal diversity in India. So say for example, you will be reading about one-horned rhinoceros. So we should be knowing which area it is famous for, in which area it is habitual, etc. So to know that, you will have to read such topics. 3 is climate change, and as we all know, climate change is an important topic in present day context. So you'll have to read climate change. In this book, you will be reading the basics of what ocean acidification is, what ozone depletion is, impact of climate change in India, etc. What you will have to do is, you will have to Google the same topic, add a word UPSC to it, and then when you Google it, you will find many articles, and the updates on these topics you can take notes on. Say for example, impact of climate change on India. So in that book, I am reading the 2017 edition, so the information will be up to 2017 or 2016. After 2016 and 17, there are 4 years, and there may be many developments happened after that. So in order to know those developments, you can just Google those topics. So what you can do is parallelly you can go through previous year question papers, chapter wise previous question papers, so that you know among these topics which topics are important and which is the pick of the UPSC year after year. Climate change is an important topic because it is the current trend. The world is facing climate issues, so we will have questions from climate change, but it will not be directly from this book. This book is only to help you to understand the basics. You'll have to do more work in order to know the current facts. So what you can do is you can parallelly read current affairs from June 2020 to June 2021. Say for example, for this 15 days, what you can do is ecology, functions of an ecosystem, or biodiversity, plant diversity in India, etc. We have syllabus wise classification and compilation of current affairs available in the internet. You can choose any one of them, and you can read the environment part alone parallelly with the basic book that you're following. So this will help you to cover both static and dynamic part, and also you can correlate each other and have a huge benefit. So the fourth part is agriculture, and I saw a spike in number of questions related to agriculture. So it is safe you read more on agriculture topic. Agriculture, you can cover it both in economic aspect and in environment aspect. Will be part 5, that is miscellaneous, that is acts and policies related to environment. Here again you will have to focus more on current affairs, that is there may be an act, say for example it came in the year 1995, it can be amended now, it can be rewritten example. So I'm just saying in general. So you'll have to look it into the current affairs aspect, because in from the book you'll have to know why the act came upon, what the act was, and what was the need for the new act to come upon, what are the changes that were made from the old act to new act, etc. And then we have various institutions that help in assessing the environment. You will have to read upon them. And then there are various summits and environmental organizations that work towards building a proper environment. So map based questions may come from these topics: the Ramsar wetland sites of India, tiger reserves of India, elephant reserves of India, Mike sites of India, biosphere reserves, India's biosphere reserves in UNESCO's list, natural world heritage sites, list of sacred groves, mangrove sites in India, list of key activities and likely associated air pollutants, respiratory irritants and toxic chemicals. Now the full mangrove sites of India, you can expect map based question. And while you're preparing these topics for map based questions, say for example a tiger reserve, you're taking a tiger reserve, say Mudumalai Tiger Reserve, you'll have to read what is peculiar about Mudumalai Tiger Reserve. Tiger Reserve is situated in which state, either in Western Ghats or Eastern Ghats, any river is originating near it or any river is flowing through it, any other nearby biosphere reserves or any other environmental related thing is there nearby it, you'll have to look into it in that aspect. Just by the word tiger reserve, if it is there, for example if you're reading about Mudumalai, it will not be enough if you just read okay Mudumalai Tiger Reserve, tigers are prominent here. For Mudumalai you also know it is important for elephants too. So you'll have to combine like this, and you'll have to look into various environmental aspects surrounding the topic and cover map based question. For any map based question topic, you will have to read it in this context only. Current affairs, try reading it parallelly along with the basics, so that your basics are strong, as well as you can easily correlate and connect it with the current affairs. I have given a separate date here, that is 4 days, 15, 16, 17 and 18. This is because you can practice MCQs that is available in the internet, and also previous year question papers based on this. And for current affairs I'll be following insights and vision. And then in class 12 NCERT you will have to read the last 4 chapters, that is 13, 14, 15, 16. It comes under unit 10 called ecology. So the chapters are organisms and population, ecosystem, biodiversity and conservation, environmental issues. If you're so new to environment, then start with NCERT and then go to Shankar book. Since I have prepared it earlier, I have placed it at last. I'll be reading this and parallelly solving current affairs and previous year question papers. You can also opt for environment based tests alone. In test series, there will be subject wise test, and that environment will be there. So in those 4 days you can also practice those tests, or you can use these 4 days as buffer days. If you have not completed the given topics, say for example in the given time you have planned, then you can use these 4 days as buffer days to complete the pending portions. If you have not completed the planned syllabus on the planned time, you can also add 2 or 3 buffer days to it, or you can use these 4 days as a buffer days. But make sure you practice at least a couple of tests and go through the previous year question, so you can get the knack of UPSC trend. In total, in Shankar book there are 40 units, in NCERT there are 4 units, and total there are 44 units. So the number of days I have planned to cover environment is 15. 13 days I'm planning to read the book, and the last 2 days I'm planning to solve previous year question paper and test. Here according to my plan it takes only 11 days to read, but I have added an additional 2 buffer days in the days of study. That is why it is 13 days of study and 2 days of previous year question paper and test. So per day approximately you will have to complete 3.5 units, and keep in mind, read environment related current affairs parallelly. So the current affairs period will be from June 2020 to June 2021. 1 year of current affairs is sufficient. So as I discussed earlier, I'm starting with the environment because this prelims is common for both forest services and civil services. So environment will have a major role in the question paper. So I'm starting with the environment. Hope this timetable was helpful for you. Make your own timetable so that it is based on your strength and weakness, and it helps you to achieve your targets. Thank you. Hope you like the video. If you like the video, share, subscribe and leave a like.